I'll never forget. It was my first time I was actually on call in the hospital, and neurology residents, we race around the hospital running as fast as we can because there's a lot of strokes that happen. And when patients come in with strokes, time is brain, as they say, because we have clot busting drugs. And if you get them into people quick enough, you can break open those clots and oxygen can get to the brain. And so, code strokes are going off all the time, and we're running like the wind to see patients. And so there's a code stroke this one night, and my very first night. And
how many years into being your residency?
I was in residency. It was my first year. First on-call night.
First on-call night?
Yes.
Okay, keep going, please.
First on-call night, code stroke, it was the third one of the hour, right? So I'm running to the code stroke, and they already have the person loading into the CAT scan machine that they have to get done right away to make sure it's not bleeding in the head. And I can already see there's something not typical about this case. In neurology, we're looking to localize where the problem could be in the brain. We're looking at patterns of weakness, numbness, and I could see right away that this was something very unusual. So when they pulled him out of the CAT scan, they're about to get the TPA, the medicine going for the stroke, and I told them to stop it. And I explained to them that something didn't look exactly kosher here about the stroke. I was examining the patient, and they had signs of this condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now, I had never seen a case myself. I've learned about it in medical school, but I've never seen a case myself until that moment. But it was clear that that's what was happening. He was a guy in his mid-30s, otherwise healthy, and I'm watching him. He's paralyzed, basically from the knees down at this point. And it just had started a few hours before when he couldn't move his feet. Now he can't move from the knees down. So, and all the signs were pointing to this syndrome. So I said to him, "You didn't by happen chance to get a vaccine, did you?" And he said, "Yeah, I got the flu vaccine like about 12, 13 days ago." So bingo, went right off in my head. They always teach it to you in medical school, and everyone sort of forgets that that's the number one or two cause of syndromes like this. I said, "Okay, I know what to do. We got to rush you and got to give you a special treatment, IVIG, that could save your life." So that's what we did. And he did have to be intubated because unfortunately it moved too quickly to get him before that. But he was eventually extubated with no neurological deficits. So everything went fine in that case. And I remember 10 years ago going home saying, "Wow, can you imagine I saw this rare case? It was my first time on call." And little did I know that the following week, I saw another case.